Okay, all right. All right. How are we doing today? Got audio, and I am here, and I think things are working. And so that's a rare treat. Hopefully, this is working. Now, why am I hearing audio of the stream? That muted. Something's weird. Oh, I know, my microphone. Let's switch this one back. Okay, so now we're good. Hello, welcome to Shwami Streams. We're gonna have a little fun today. I'm working on some coding, and oh, I have this open on two screens too. Look at that. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna do some coding today. I'm working on a Blazor app. Kind of excited to be working on a Blazor app. Hoping that my machine behaves a little better today than it did yesterday, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. The reason is that I split and went to my two machine streaming setup. So my main computer, all it has to focus on doing is building and compiling and things like that, running things in Visual Studio, and my streaming is on another computer. So hopefully that'll go really nice and quickly. So, what was that? Something in my headphones just beeped. Wonder if the sounds work. Let's see. No, my headphones just turned themselves off. My earbuds. Why did they do that? Because the other computer picked them up, I think. Connect them. That should work. So, let's see if it works. And I can't hear that. That's not good. Let's restart my audio engine. Yep, and now I got sounds. Okay, so hopefully that won't happen again because that's awkward. Oh, you know, audio is like the biggest problem with streaming, if you ask me. It's like a real pain in the neck. But let's get into some coding here. And, oh, wait, I know. I can't see my screen. Oh, Andy. Let's try this again. I gotta go to turn on. That works. Let's see if that works. Of course not. Let's see. Properties. Huh. Huh. That's odd. I can't get my monitor to work. That be me. Yep. I'll get this stuff working eventually. Okay, NDI is not working. And why isn't NDI working? What did I do wrong? Oh, another fun-filled stream of starting things out. If you're joining me, I'm having some technical difficulties. So, So scan converter should be sending this to this. Why is it? Did the network get unplugged? Okay, so is it going to make me restart OBS? That would mean I'd have to restart the stream. Let me try to stop NDI and restart NDI. Oh boy. Try this again. Oh, I think it's working. I think it's working. Oh my gosh. Well, that was a fun. So now, back with my solution. Technology never really works the way you want it to work. What can you do? So now I'm going to get back into my Blazor app. So I've got this data element, or whatever you want to call it. I've got a data model that has these four, how many attributes do we have here? We have the team ID, the sprint start. I think I'm going to change this to sprint end. I think it makes more sense to think about the ending of a sprint deadline. And so, so I think I need to make this nullable. Team ID, date time. So how did I do this over here? I was having some problems with these nullable fields and making them required. So the team ID, option 1 and 2. So I shouldn't make it nullable. That should be the whole point. Is it should be except 0. Maybe I can make it 0 based. And then what happens with that? Does that make it work? So if I make it 0 based and not choosing anything, well, either way, it would be a 0 to default. So if I make it nullable, how about that? I do want it to be nullable. And then it's going to default. It doesn't matter if I use 1 or 2. Let's see if that makes that field. Let's see how quick this thing compiles. Since I got the new computer, the new setup, it's probably going to start the wrong screen, right? Oh, build errors. Oh no. Uh-oh. What the heck is that? Entry. I don't know what that's all about. Huh. Doesn't like something I did. Well, let's see. What did I do? Oh, team ID, sprint start. That's what the problem is. I'm sure I changed it to sprint end. I probably should have used the rename. I wonder if that would have worked better if I used rename on that. So okay, and it goes to the wrong window. So let's drag this over here. So mostly I want to see if this validation stuff's working. Trying to work on Blazor forms with some validation stuff. So what this should say right now, if I hit enter, submit, it should tell me that this is null. And it did. It did say the team ID field is required. That's perfect. Now I'm still having a problem with the date field. How do you make a date field required when I need to have more validation rules on that anyway? I think. And this thing starts off with this date, and that's not even a real date anyway. But, so I want to look into that a little bit. But wait, do I still have it open here? But what I should be able to do is say, I'll say no, and no, and team B, which should be a, is it a 1 or a, I don't know, see. And let's see what comes up over here. I've got, this is working. It's just this date. So I want to do, how do I do date validation? Let's see. Oh, I wonder if I can just put something in the attribute. So in the required attribute of a date time, is there anything like that I get? That's not really going to help much. That's not going to help much. So I had some problems with these other things where I wanted to use Booleans on these. And that got a little weird. But I changed them, yeah. Not really sure what I'm trying to do here because this isn't completely thought out. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it like this and do some validation. Let's find out how we do Blazor. Okay, and I don't need this. Let's get that over there. So I want to do, I think they're called a input select or an input date validation. Let's try that. And maybe it's Razor or is it Blazor? There's a line between the two. Razor input date validation. Something with a date in here. Maybe this will help. This is going to tell me that's interesting. That didn't work at all. All right. Input type is date. Well, that's not what I care about. Let's see. They don't have a date on this one. Date. They don't have dates on this. This isn't going to help me at all. How about I do, maybe I'm thinking of this wrong. Maybe I should be changing the attribute. So maybe it's this required attribute. Let's do required attribute C# date time. Let's see if we well, I did that. So, okay, again, back to the making it nullable. Always has a value. Right, okay. So it's really the same thing I had before. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Let's make it nullable. And then it will bind to probably nothing. Yeah, so I was already binding it to that first date. I think that's what the problem was, which seems kind of almost like silly, like I should have thought of that. So let's go here. Now it says sprint end, right? Oh yeah, yeah, this is what I want to do. And then I'll have some other logic to make sure that it's like what I want it to be. So let's do team B. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, team B is 2. Got the date in there. Okay, cool. So what do I want to do next? So what I'm going to need to do is right here, I'm going to need to call web API. I could keep thinking that this is the wrong thing. This is the one I want. Let's just see. So what do I have in here? I have which team. I could style this up a little bit. I don't have a whole lot of time today. Can I do edit and continue? I don't know if I can. Oh, it's opening on the wrong I think I like this in line. That's what I should do, because this form's pretty weak. So I think I need to learn how to do, like, is there a form group that these two fields need to be in for styling properly? So let's spend a little time looking at Blazor form layout. And let's see what we can learn about here. And I'm just going to scroll down. This doesn't look all layout. So, I mean, it is HTML at the end of the day. Now, what does it treat? Something tells me it treats this input, though, as a div because it's putting it below. I could look at it right here. See what it's giving me. It's a form and it's a select. Oh, this is a div. This isn't a span. So that's really my problem, is that I put a div right there. So what if I put these together? That seems simple enough. Yeah, let's try this. Now, do I have any kind of edit and continue or something like that working here? Can I just refresh this? Apparently not, right? I'd like to learn how to do Blazor edit and continue for Blazor server side. Blazor server edit and continue. Live reload. So as of .NET 6 Preview 3, it's hot load .NET. This is pretty recent. I don't think I'm using .NET 6 Preview 3. So maybe I don't get hot reload. I should do Blazor server. I mean Blazor client. Okay. Well, I can just wing it along here. So I did that, and that might help. So let's just try to. Guess I can stop this because it's not really helping me. All right, let's just take a quick peek at that. Would like to learn how to reload could work. It'd be nice. Yeah, that's closer. Now the style on this is weak. There's no question about it. I need to figure out how to apply some styles to this input. Are there like built-in classes for that? I don't know. I kind of get the feeling, oh, I know. Do I have, it's CSS based. So in somewhere in here, I have any CSS? I don't have any CSS. Maybe I need to use like a framework, right? Blazor. Do I need to see what this guy has to say? John Hilton, I don't know who you are. I'm gonna I don't know what's going on here. Don't want any of these things. I want like, I don't know. I may have to research this off stream a little bit and figure out like what the best way to style this stuff is. It's better. It's a little better than it was. Oh, I closed it. It's okay. So I've got this form and it's working. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say basic form works. Oh, you know what I want to do though? Before I do that, let's look at this. Things went well is required. Things went better is required. And I'm going to say let's make this a little nicer. You're going to say sprint end is required and team. I'll just say team is required, right? And then team start. I'm going to say end date. That's what this needs to be. Okay. And I'm just going to check that in because it's okay. I made a commit, which is always a fun thing to do. So what I think I need to start doing now is work on, so okay, I've got this data, but what happens when I use this data? Because I don't think the Blazor is going to be the most complicated part of this thing. What I need is something to accept this. And I was planning on having an additional project for a backend like web API that we're going to call. So I'm going to add a new project here. And I type web API, ASP.NET Core, web API, and C#. Now I'm going to call this thing, team feedback web API. Web API. It's okay, it's just for me. Should ask me now, like, what do I want to do with the API, right? So I'll stay with .NET 5. I'm not going to put, well, I'm not going to do authentication yet. That's going to come next. So let's just, enable open API support. Oh, that's cool. That'll give me the, I think that gives me the built-in, I just had it on the tip of my tongue, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I have this. And so if I debug this, this is where the built-in open API support should, I think, if I debug this, it's going to come up with Swagger. That is the word I was thinking of. So it brings me right up to the Swagger page, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so it has that built-in weather forecast junk, which we don't really care about. So let's go to controllers. And so I guess I'm going to add another API controller to this, and I'm going to call it feedback. This will be the feedback controller. And we can add, yep. Okay, this will make sense, I think. Add controller. Let's try to do this like restfully, you know. Read write actions, or do I just want empty? MVC controller with actions to create, read, update, edit, list entities. Try that. Oh, I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call this. It's weird that it doubles me into this UI. This happened to me last time, and I thought this was weird. So Sorry for the sneeze. Let's see. So I'm going to call this feedback controller. Yeah, this is kind of what I wanted to do. Well, now this gave me this like index details. I don't want this. This is not an API controller. Somehow I chose poorly. And this is what I don't understand about the way this Visual Studio is working. Something's not right, because I said add controller. I said MVC controller. All right, I take it back. Is there an add new item? I want an API controller with read-write actions. Oh, I just called it values because I wasn't paying attention again. So let's get rid of that. Here we go. How many times can we redo that? Add new item. Because the last screen, it took me to an extra page. Here I'm going to call this feedback. The feedback controller. And there we are. Okay, so I think the first thing we can do, what would be interesting, and I did not do this originally, but my Razor app has this feedback entry. And I wonder if that should be like a shared resource, right? Because it's something that can be used between the two. So that would be kind of cool, because I think this has all the fields I want, and why wouldn't I want to reuse it? Why wouldn't I want to reuse it? I don't know. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another project. Oops. Add new project. And this is the cool part about Blazor, is that I can reuse the same code, you know, on both of these things. And when I move it to client side, it'll still work. So I'm just going to go to library, class library, .NET Standard or .NET Core. C#. Next, I'm going to call this team feedback DTO, I think. Maybe I'll name that again later, but this are like my DTOs that I can share between the two. I don't know if I like that. I'm going to call it shared. Shared. Seems like as good a name as any for right now. And I'll delete that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my data, take my feedback entry and move it into here for now. Okay, and I'm going to delete it from here. Well, let's just see. Probably need to add something. Oh no, I picked up the annotations. That was easy. So I'm going to delete it from here. And then when I go to my page, I'm kind of guessing it might even tell me like add a reference, like a project reference. Not getting that kind of help, which is no big deal. I'll add project reference. Where's it? Project reference to shared. Okay, now, you know what I didn't do is change the namespace. Because this probably should be in team feedback shared. Okay, no big deal. Save that and go over to entry here. And that should make that happy. Make that happy. Build. Should make that happy. Yeah. Oh, this is not right. Sorry, I was not paying attention. This is going to be streams.shared. Using directory of unnecessary? Really? Gotta pay more attention. Team feedback. I need this whole thing. There we go. All right. This is this. Oh, it's interesting that this says Shwami Streams. I didn't make this Oh. See, I used the fully qualified name on these, and I didn't use it on that. Oh man, I'm really killing myself here. Not great, but okay. This should work. And then I'm going to clean that stuff up later. This one, I'm going to add a reference. To shared as well. And now in my feedback controller, post should take a feedback entry. Feedback entry. And then is it going to like help me out here? Oh. See, this one's, see, why does it say, oh, I bet I know why. Because I put the namespace in there even though it doesn't belong in the project. That's what's been, okay, so that's confusing me. Really, until I rename this, let's just go back, because that's just going to confuse me later. How many times can I go back and forth? Okay, so that works. Why doesn't this one work? It says team feedback dot. That's not right. Team feedback. Namespace team feedback dot shared. And I have a reference. Shared. This is already there, right? That gets screwed up. Feedback. Huh. How would it say Blazor? Shared. I'm going to sort of remove that because team feedback shared. And team feedback dot shared. Here, add a reference. Shared, whoops. And if this is all I get done today, I guess I'll be okay with that. And it is, did I spell something wrong? Feedback, Blazor server. Oh, I know. Let's go with the old magic clean solution. And then this will fail, of course. It should fail. Okay, fine. Oh, identifier expected. That might be an indicator of... No, okay, that went away. Good. So it's not giving me a tip here. Feedback entry. You would think that it should give me like a little help and like it did before I changed the namespace. And I don't know why. Because it doesn't think that thing exists anywhere. What did I do? Is it not in there? Oh. Hello, Ram. How are you? Just noticing your comment now. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is, well, this part is pretty simple in the concept. I have a form. I'm collecting some data. I'm passing the form back. This is a Blazor site. I'm passing the form back to my API, to a web API, and that web API is in this project. Let's see, web API, and I have this feedback controller. The thing we're passing around is called feedback. I've got this feedback entry. This is the model, and it is in this shared project, feedback entry, public class feedback entry. So the Blazor site, which is this, is gonna, well, see, it doesn't know what the feedback entry is anymore. Something got messed up. And if I do using, and I say using team feedback dot, see, it doesn't give me the shared project. Now, I had some renaming stuff. Oops. Let's see if I do it this way. Yeah, see, it still doesn't work, right? So why does this thing, I think the namespace of this is messed up. Alt namespace, team feedback, shared. This is weird. So this is like one of those dumb things that as developers, we run into these things and things don't always work the way we like that they're just kind of supposed to. Like this should just kind of work. So let's see if it has something to do with what's going on here. So I've got shared, I've got web API, I've got this team feedback, which has nothing in it. I don't even know why that's there. Let's get rid of that. So I've got the Blazor server, and I've got the shared, and I've got the web API. Seems pretty simple. Shared is team feedback.shared in the bin. Let's just see what it creates it as. Feedback shared. This is like really strange. So I don't know if this is interesting to you at all. You know, terribly sorry if it's not. But I'll say, well, so RAM, that's what I'm trying to do here, is basically just get some data back from a web API to, from a Blazor site to the web API. Missing a project reference to shared. Thank you. That's you know, kind of what I thought. PC div, missing a project reference to shared. That's what you would think. Now, if I'm missing it, I'm going to be really embarrassed because I thought I checked it 3 times. So in the Blazor server app, I have a reference to team feedback.shared. Something tells me, do I have like a case sensitive thing working here? where I put like team feedback with a lower B, and these are like these are the pain points, right? I was hoping to get some little bit of work done today on this stream, and team feedback dot. I'm actually tempted to like close Visual. Could this be one of those like close Visual Studio and restart it kind of things? I don't know why it would be, but it's one of those thoughts that comes to mind. So what if I close the solution? I shouldn't have to let's see. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe something's not saved right. Just for kicks, I'm going to do a final. I'm doing build. I did rebuild. I did clean solution before, and it was working until I moved. So I wonder if it's okay. I got something here. So the web API, so shared is .NET 5 class library. .NET 5 class library. And this Blazor app is a .NET 5, well, it's a console app, but that's just the way it is, right? So I think they should be compatible. Like, I don't think it's a compatibility thing. So what if let's just try my crazy thing here. Close the solution. I'm going to open it back up again. It's one of those points. I'm going to clean solution. What the heck? Clean succeeded. So just to be sure, when I look in shared, there should be nothing in the bin, right? Because I cleaned it. So nothing in there. And if I go to the Blazor server app, in the bin, okay, there's nothing in there either, right? So my references they're very much cleared out. Okay, I'm going to build shared, and I build succeeded on that. Okay, if I look at Blazor server, I have a dependency. I have a project reference to team feedback dot shared. Okay, and so in here, I feel like it's this references thing that I'm doing something wrong. Like maybe in Blazor, you have to do things differently. But if I go into here, this is, wait. Oh, no, I didn't compile this yet. So, okay, now it's giving me the error. And because there's a reference, it should give me like that, helper that says, oh, why don't you add the missing using statements. Let's just try and see, is there feedback.c? And it doesn't even come up. So the project reference is like somehow not working. Oh man, this was working before when I had this. The shared, let's just see if there's anything in here still. Where's that data folder? There's nothing in there anymore, right? So I had this shared thing. This feedback entry used to be up in here in this data folder, and it worked fine. And since I moved it out, and that's why I wonder if it's mad about these names. This namespace shouldn't matter that I put the Swami streams on that one. That's irrelevant unless it's confused by the fact that we have a Swami streams team feedback and we have a team feedback. That could be something. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rename this. I think you can do this. All right, here, this will be really interesting. Let's see, we're going to learn something here. So I'm going to say Swami streams team feedback, and that doesn't do a whole lot. But now I need to go into this thing, I think, and it really won't matter. These are just defaults. But, oh, it changed it. Okay, good. It changed that. And now The project reference got changed. Good. So, we might have learned something today if this works. We might have learned something interesting. And okay, I knew that was going to happen. Feedback entry. I have the project reference. Let's go up here and see if I can do at using, come on, streams dot team feedback. Oh, come on. Still doesn't work. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to clean the solution. Swami streams team feedback. Curious to know if this one fixed itself. Team feedback shared doesn't exist anymore, and this thing should fail. Let's just compile this and see if that works. Could you change the namespace in feedback entry CS? Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I checked that. Thank you, RAM. That's a good point. In all this playing around, that still has the old namespace, right? And so that should be that now. Okay. And let's just try, let's again see if this one works. Let's just build that again. Okay, so now if I go down to this controller, yeah, we knew that was going to happen. In this web API, this should be unhappy, which is good. And if I go down to this thing, I'm hoping it's going to, this is what this is okay. So regular API stuff gives me the help I want, right? But Blazor doesn't seem to. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's just the nature of Blazor. When I go, so that is working, right? I renamed it, renamespaced it. That seems good. If I go back to my Blazor here, so I'm going to manually add the namespace again using Swami streams team feed. Oh, come on, team feedback. And all it gives me is its own namespace. I think there's something, I feel like, oh, wait. This thing. Oh my gosh. See this? This is why I'm a rookie with Blazor, but I kind of remembered, like it popped into my head. I think I need to add it into here somehow. And I don't know why it didn't go in automatically when I added a reference to it. But let's see what happens if I do using Swami streams dot team feedback. Still doesn't give me shared. All right. I so thought I was onto it right there. So is there something in like app? There's not going to be anything in here. Oh boy, shared imports.razor. Wait. Did I delete my project reference? Wait, I deleted my project reference. Okay, so let's add the project reference again. Because I think I'm onto something here. Add. Sorry, I'm not looking at the right thing. Okay, now it didn't go into here, right? And so now I'm gonna leave it that way. If I go to here, oh, now it's there. Well, I don't know how that even happened, quite frankly. Ram says, I know what happened. I think. I thought it had to do with that imports.razor, but that doesn't even have it in here. I don't get that. If you know what happened, share away. Have you copied the feedback CS or move? Yes, I have copied the CS. I did move it. That's correct. But I did clean everything in between that. And so I thought that that would do the trick. Over here, yeah. I thought that would do the trick. I think you have copied. Oh, you mean instead of moving it, like leaving the old one behind? I checked that, and that would have been in this data folder, so it's not there anymore, if that's what you mean. And you could get up with that like hanging reference to the old one. Maybe that's where you're going, Ram. I'm just trying to read your mind because chat isn't the greatest. I wish I could just tell people like, hey, call me. Let's just come on this thing and talk. Have you checked the shared folder once? Check the share folder once. The share, oh, you're talking about back here. I think you're talking about, if that's what you mean, it's not, doesn't still exist, like even though it's removed from the thing. So, but I am shocked that this imports razor thing doesn't need to have it in here. This is where I'm confused about. And Blazor server shared. I don't know. I don't get this imports.razor thing. But let me just go back and see, am I crazy? Does this work? So I've got it. I mean, it's going to compile. I've got the feedback thing. And I've got it over here in the controller. I've got the feedback thing. Okay. Could you search that file name? Sure. I'm up for trying anything. One way to do that is up in here. What did I call it? Feedback. I can just do feedback and see what comes up. So I've got feedback controller. Hope you can see this okay. This is probably kind of small. I got to remember to turn zoom it on. I'll remember to do that for tomorrow. Or I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow, but next day, Thursday. So I don't see it anywhere else. If I'm trusting this way, there's a few ways of searching. I don't know. It's crazy. But the point is that this should work now. This API controller should take a feedback entry. If I run this, what's it going to look like from... I hate to say I've thrown in the towel on that, gang, because it's just working now. And something was buggered up in there. And I think I just brute forced my way and trying it enough times. I don't know. Okay. So, another thing I'm not really an expert on is Swagger. But this is kind of cool because it does this whole default thing. So I should be able to run this. I should be able to put a breakpoint in here. I should be able to get this feedback entry. If I just put a breakpoint there, even though this doesn't do anything. Which is kind of cool. I'm sure there's a way that I can I think there's a way that I can actually put the value. Can I edit this? No, I can't edit that. I thought there was a way to do that. I'll look into that, but where's the... Okay, so try out. That's what I wanted to do. Try out. So I can't edit it here. I knew there was another button I needed to press. And now if I execute, there it is. And my feedback entry has the values that it's expecting. Yeah, thank you. There's a delay between when I say things and do things and when it gets to you guys, and I am going to look at the settings on that. But Ram, I appreciate that. I appreciate having you on the team here. I could stare at that screen, and not even see the buttons. I'm like, whatever. But so that works. So now what I'm going to do is essentially, and this is going to be, I think I'm going to wrap it up. But so obviously I need to put stuff here, right? Save data, essentially, right? And then in here, I need to call the web API, and I think it's going to be something like, HTTP client dot blah 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 blah, right? And I don't have a database or anything like that yet, but that is what I want to do next. I want to get the data moving between the two things before I go ahead and build the thing. I do have a little bit of time. Let me see. I'm going to check this in. I wonder if it'll be clear to me from the commits what I changed. I don't know if it will. So is it possible to use the repository pattern with the service layer? Well, that's exactly what I plan to do. So when I get over here, Ram, when I get over to this web API and I get into this code here, I would not be doing something like, db context dot save or something like that. I will not be doing that. What I will be doing is following a pattern that I like for architecture, which is to use an orchestrator pattern, and I'll have something in here called like the feedback orchestrator. And then that feedback orchestrator will have the logic, and it'll be in a different project outside of the feedback controller, outside of the web API, and it'll be encapsulated on its own there. And the feedback orchestrator will have other logic in it to validate the entry, to do a bunch of things, and eventually, yes, it will use a repository pattern, which I'm a big fan of, and entity framework combined, and post the data into this database, which will be hosted on Azure. So there's a lot of work to be done on this sort of simple project. I think it's going to start going fast. The places where I think struggle were on the Blazor parts, which are kind of the fun parts too, if I'm being honest. Like, I kind of like learning Blazor. So I'm going to do all that, and then I'm going to be deploying it to Azure with GitHub Actions and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Oh yeah, App Insights. We'll have Azure App Service to host this thing. A couple of Azure App Services. I'll be using ARM templates and Bicep to build out the resources on Azure. I'm building this out just like it would be a full application for work. Because in fact, this actually is an application I'm going to be using at work. That's why I'm able to steal some time from my day job here. I'm building this for work reasons. I'm building it here in GitHub with people watching, and then I will actually take it from GitHub. I'll sort of clone it into our work repos and things like that. And so the work one will eventually be separated off from the public one, just because of work reasons. Cosmos DB would be great. I think it's overkill for this. From everything I know, I'm looking at different data storage options for some of the things, because there's also going to be, in addition to this feedback, there's going to be a bit of work that you can do to control who you want to provide feedback for. So this is for feedback for our teams at work. So someone's going to have to go in and configure this and say, well, here's the name of the team, here's the person that gives us the feedback, here are the iterations that they want to provide feedback for. So there's also a bit of like an admin panel, I guess. And I could use different data storage options for the admin and for the feedback. I kind of like to play around with, like document database kind of stuff a little bit. This is such a small example. So I don't know where that's all going to go. What I can tell you is that I'm trying to stream my lunch times around 12:30 or so. Checking my work computer. If you see me leaning out of the frame here, I'm. Oh, you know what? I don't even have my. I had the wrong one on this whole time. I thought you could see me, and you couldn't even see me. Look at that. I must have hit the wrong button. Hi. So, let's see. I was planning on streaming tomorrow, but some work stuff came up. And so I don't think I'll stream tomorrow, but I will be streaming Thursday and Friday. I will be streaming Thursday and Friday, probably close to noon, maybe a little before noon. I'd like to start at 11:30 Eastern time and keep building this out. And I may even jump on in the evenings. I'm trying to figure out how to do this so that people can watch and follow along. And yet, if I get some time, I might want to just like jump in and work on this. So I'm trying to figure that out a little bit. Also checking on a couple things while I do this. So I just want to check. Just want to check. All right. Yeah. So, and I'm going to keep evenings would be great. More people will join. Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of torn on that. I think more people might join in the evenings. Ram. Evenings are hard for me, right? Got the family, like we all have obligations and stuff. It's really hard to come up with a balance. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. If you want to know when I'm gonna do this, you can subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Twitch, and I also have my my Twitter handle, and I can post that in here on Twitter at Shwami, and I will have that in there. Why does it say Restream IO? I want this to come from me. I guess I can change this. If I do it that way, it came from me? Let's try this. I'm using Restream for chat, and so I think that works out. Let's see, even though it looks like it came from... oh, you did already. Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I got some other stuff I got to do. Wait, did I do my check-in? Let's see. I did my check-in. No, I did not do my check-in. So what do I want to say? Started web API and moved shared into own project, something like that. Right? Keep it kind of simple. And yeah, so if you want to stick with me and hang in there along the ride, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in here. They are archived on YouTube. That's not always the same experience to watch it after the fact, but I do post them onto YouTube, really not editing them or anything like that, because these are more like live, and I'm just winging it. And if you're here in the beginning, you get to watch all my fumbles as I try to get the audio hooked up and all that other fun stuff. But I think for now I'm gonna wrap it up, and I think I'm gonna sign off for the day. So for those of you that were here, I appreciate everyone being here along for the ride. Thank you so much. Again, I'll be back Thursday afternoon and maybe even some of the evenings, and just follow and you'll see me when I get back. Thanks so much, and have a good day.